Hello and welcome back to another reaction. In this occasion, Avatar: The Last Airbender Season 2 Episode 15. Yes! For that person who has been hyping up this episode so much, it's finally here. We are reached the 15th episode. I am so curious to see why this episode is so important to you. So yes, I am fascinated by all that hype, but again, as I said in previous videos, I try to maintain myself as objective as possible. Obviously, there is always going to be some base on my behalf, but I try to minimize that. More than hype, I think it was curiosity from me. I want to see why you like this episode so much, why this episode is so important, and finally I can know why. So I am intrigued to see what is going to happen with this one, because in the previous one we have a very political drama in our hands, a very political but very entertaining. And that is something that fascinates me always. When it's well done, obviously. When it's just, as I said, and as an example that I gave in the last commentary, like it's like when Star Wars tried to do back then in the previews, in the prequels, it was terrible, but here it's entertaining because you understand what else is going on. Obviously not the episode itself, but whatever is going behind the episode, and that is something that they can use very well. They can use all the information that they gave us before, and they use it in this specific, well, in the previous episode, in episode 14, to give you something exciting that if you describe it to somebody else and just describe the episode without any context, will sound extremely boring. Because come on, oh, a political cartoon? Are you serious, man? That is just boring. Which obviously is not. It was very exciting. So yes, I'm eager to see how that thing is being resolved, how this episode it is, how is it's as fantastic as somebody is telling me that it is. So yes, I am curious to see everything else. And about the rough editing, yeah, sometimes I nail the editing, sometimes I don't. Sorry about that. I try to minimize the what I thought is a boring part, what I thought is an irrelevant part. So that's why I try to just maintain. And if you notice, in the end, I almost keep the entire episode, because that's when I thought the most exciting part was. Yeah, I understand that sometimes it's frustrating not to see your favorite part, but sorry about that. I will try to do a better job about my editing. But anyway, yes, let me just remind you once more that if you enjoy the content of the channel, please consider a subscription and turn on notifications so you can get up to date with whatever we're doing with the channel. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up and leave a comment so I know what you think about my reaction, about the video, and about the commentary once you hear it. Yes, I know I sometimes do not respond, but believe me, I read all your comments and I'm so thankful for those, guys. Anyway, yes, if you want to follow me on Twitter, the link's in the description below. And yes, let's just cut all of these and watch all the hype about the episode 15, shall we? Okay, I'm back. I just watched several times this entire episode, not just one more. I see why the hype. I understand why the hype. It is obviously not something that is advancing the plot. It's not something that we're continuing with the story of the previous episode. It's more of a pause of something extra. And I think I know why they did this. I'm gonna speak about that in the end. First of all, we separate this story into four or five segments. I don't recall. Let's see. It was Toph and Katara. Then it was Uncle Iroh. Then it was Aang. Then Zuko, and at the end Momo. So yeah, five segments. But anyway, let's go by one by one, because I think every single one is important. There is one that is more important in my opinion, but the others are important too. The first one, Toph and Katara. I love how we deal with a different aspect in Top's attitude, in Top's character. We only knew her as this tough, yeah, I guess that's why kind of a pun in the name, a tough woman, that somebody who doesn't care about her appearance, somebody who just say, oh yes, I'm just so powerful, I'm strong, and I don't care about what the rest of the world thinks. But obviously, perhaps is that to mask insecurities, because she doesn't know how she looks. She doesn't know that she's pretty, or she's ugly, or she's fat, or she whatever. Well, perhaps fat you can tell even without watching it. But anyway, the point is, perhaps this kind of tough attitude is because she's kind of insecure about her appearance, about something as simple as that. And yeah, I know it sounds silly, but come on, everybody is allowed to feel insecure about anything. Everybody. You might feel insecure because you are not a good singer, even if that doesn't come up very often, but perhaps you try to sing terribly just to mask that. So, oh yes, I'm not even trying, look how silly I am, but in deep inside you, it really hurts, because perhaps your brother or your sister or your mom or your dad sings pretty well, or something along those lines. So yes, even if for some people might consider this superficial and ridiculous and out of character from Top, I think it's pretty accurate. I think I like when they give characters more than one dimension, more than just one characteristic. Oh, he's the tough one. Oh, he's the wise one. Oh, he's this, he's that. But actually, when they give you insecurities that perhaps you will not think about them having. But newsflash, that is what a human being is. We can have insecurities, we can be very confident in some stuff, but very insecure in other. And I like how they take the character of Toph and change my perspective towards her, because this is a fascinating development for her. Of course, we have Katara, and she's still our strong stone in which we can rest, because she knows what to say and when to say it. And I love that little attitude, because yes, Toph was saying, oh, I don't care, but she was about to cry. And in the moment that Katara said, oh, I think you are pretty, that's when she nailed it, when Katara nailed it. And I love that part of the episode too. This was a fascinating point because, again, it gave us a different perspective into one of our characters. And they give a lot of praising for another one, in this case Katara, because she knows what she's doing when comforting her friends is about. And another stuff, obviously, too, but yeah, that is the point of this episode, or this first segment. Then, I'm going to speak about Aang and his little escapade in the zoo. This is obviously not more of a character development, because we know that Aang loves animals. We know that he is a very pacifist, and we know that he wants the animals to have the best possible, place in which they can grow. And that's what he did. I think this was a little bit more of a demonstration of the amazing power of the Avatar, that he can control air, obviously, and he can call the animals, and he can control the earth bending, obviously, so he can create this zoo which is a lot more spacious than the one inside of the city. And yeah, I like that one. But obviously, it's still showing us the silly side of Aang, that, oh yeah, he's not perfect, and he makes a lot of mistakes, as we saw in this episode. So yes, I like that attitude, especially from the beginning, that the mistake, that yes, he resolved in the end, but obviously he is not perfect. And the little detail of the dog and the two cats that were inside with the wild animals, yeah, that is okay, he might improve, but he's not perfect, and I'm thankful for that little detail. Then, of course, we got... I'm still struggling which one to say first. My boy Sokka. That was, again, more of a comedic side story. It sounds kind of weird, but anyway. He was telling or reciting haikus, I think is more accurate, without even trying. And I love this epic haiku battle that we have in a certain moment, because he was really, really good. The problem came when he was just full of himself, and yeah, he missed the haiku, and nobody was applauding at the moment, and he was thrown away. It's a very simple scenario, more for a comedic effect than anything else. We know that again, or at least I knew. I think you knew too. We know that Sokka is smart, not book smart, but he's smart. The problem is that he's again full of himself, way too prideful. So yeah, that is his downfall. Perhaps a cautionary tale for Sokka in the future. Perhaps again, not very deep in that case. Then we got Momo. Momo again, I thought it was more for a comedic effect, and it was. But I love the side in which we start to see the feelings of Momo, that he misses his friend. He misses, well, I'm assuming he's a he. Anyway, he misses Oppa, and he wants to find him. Obviously, there are problems in the way, but in general, obviously, it's just trying to find Oppa. And with the help in the end from his previous enemies, he kind of find a clue about the whereabouts of Oppa. Again, it's not a very deep story, but what I really take away from this one is the fact that we get a glimpse of Momo's feelings. That he misses Oppa. Even if he's just an animal, he is not less. He doesn't care less about Oppa. So I love this little point in which I was not expecting anything like this, anything as deep when the episode announced that we're going to see a little bit of Momo's story. I honestly thought we were just going to see silly stuff, and yes, we got our side of that. But we got a little bit deeper in there, and that is something I appreciate. A really good surprise that I received in that last tale, obviously last for the episode. Then we got Prince, again, Zuko, because yes, Uncle Iroh called him Prince, but anyway, Zuko's story. This is again another character development in a different way. Obviously, he is suspicious about everybody, and my guess he is more paranoid since the Jet incident. That he now mistrusting everybody else, including this girl. But obviously, Uncle Iroh noticed something else, that yes, actually, this girl is not there to spy you because he figured out that you're a firebender. No, she's there because she has a crush on you. And that is honestly pretty cute. And I like this little day that is showing us that Zuko is an awkward dork. He doesn't know how to handle this situation, these romantic situations. And we saw that in the episode. How he's, oh, you eat too much for a girl your side. You didn't tell that in a date, man. But obviously, that's what makes it funny. That's what makes it entertaining. And the fact that he tried to go out and have fun. I don't know at the beginning because, oh, this do well for our facade, for everything that we're trying to hide. Or because he genuinely wanted to have fun. Because, yeah, in the beginning, he doesn't look like he's having fun or that he wants to go out to have fun. It's like he's more forced than anything else. But the more that the date advances, I think Zuko starts to see, okay, I'm having fun. I like this girl. She's fine. She's nice. Let's do something reckless and nice for her. And that's when he lit all the candles around this little fountain. Yeah, man, you cannot tell anything wrong about Uncle Iroh anymore because Uncle Iroh was a lot more discreet. He was just heating tea. And you just throw fire around in a fountain, in a public fountain, man. So yeah, you lost your right to say anything wrong about Uncle Iroh and his tea. And yes, we got, again, our awkward moment for Zuko. Even when, yes, you know that they were about to kiss. And he just said, oh, I have a coupon. Come on, man, that was not the point. But I love how the girl just saved that moment and said, okay, I have something to thank you for, too. And they kiss, and it's a very cute moment. Unfortunately, and I don't know why, I'm still not sure, I have several theories for this, but how he said, okay, I need to go, there is something else, and he just runs away. Even in the end, he declares, oh, it was nice. But my theory as to why he's not receiving the keys that well is because he doesn't want to live in this city his whole life. I think that he still has hopes that he will going to escape from this city, and he doesn't want to get any attachment to that city. That's one of my theories. The other one is that actually the crush of May is not one-sided, because again, we saw that back in the first episode in which May was presented. That is kind of this cute crush that she has on Zuko, but perhaps it's not just one-sided. Perhaps Zuko feels the same way about her. So perhaps it's that one that he doesn't want. He feels that he's betraying. He's betraying Mai in the end. That's my other theory. Or perhaps he doesn't want him. He doesn't want this girl to discover that they are actually firebenders. I don't know. There are a ton of stuff I'm thinking as to why he dismissed this kiss. Now, if you notice, I leave the story to the end because I think it's the most important one. Uncle's Iroh stories. That was deep. That cut deep, and that is genuinely heartbreaking to see the end of that story. Uncle Iroh, during his entire narrative, has been a very wise man. And this is something that we have seen in the entirety of the animation and in this episode. He's trying to help everybody. He wants to save everybody, even if it's just minor stuff, silly stuff. He just wants to help the rest of the world. We saw in this episode, he helped even a small stuff like just moving the flower to the shadow because that is going to make it bloom, make a kid stop crying, help a bunch of kids that they were playing soccer and they just break a window. That happened to me back then when I was a kid, so I relate to that. You need to run away. Yeah, I've done that. Anyway, then of course, what else? I'm missing something. Oh yes, of course, the thief. He helped this man to believe in himself, not to go into this life of crime and do something productive. He was helping everybody. But the last message that we received in this episode, that he helps everybody. But he wished that he could have helped his son. That is his biggest regret, that he could not save his son. And everything that he has done in this day, it was to get a picnic with his son, to celebrate the birthday of his son. My God, just thinking about it makes me emotional, man. It's pretty strong. And I love how they treat this moment, this quiet moment, very respectful. It's fascinating to see this story, because there are so many layers. Because again, we only saw this funny side of Uncle Iroh, this helpful side. But Uncle Iroh is still human, a very wise man. But he's still human, and he still feels hurt. He still feels regret. He still feels guilt. And this last moment and this last song of the soldier that go back home, and the voice actor, the way the voice breaks, everything fits perfectly for the moment and for the character. That is really, really emotional. Again, just thinking about it, it's making me very emotional, and I don't know if it's noticeable, but these pauses are because I'm really trying to hold back, man. I'm really trying. So yes, it's emotional to say the least, and I love the last scene, the way the colors look, the way that everything is presented to you. It's just a wonderful, wonderful shot. And yes, I did a little bit of a research in the voice actor, because yes, in the end, after everything is over, after this little segment is over, we got a dedication. Mako was obviously the voice actor of Uncle Iroh. And later I figured out that he died. He tragically died. I think it was cancer. I don't recall that well because yes, it's in honor of Mako or Mako. I don't know how to pronounce his name honestly. But yes, this was, I don't know if this was, because I didn't want to look too deep in case of spoilers. I don't know if this was the last episode that he recorded, or is just because this episode aired after his death. I think it was. He died in June, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check. No, he died on July 21st of 2006. So yes, he died in that, and the episode aired in September, if I'm not mistaken. The original air date, obviously. So yes, this was, I don't know if the episode was made to honor Mako. I don't know, but it was very emotional. It was very fitting, and it was, I like the episode they choose to honor this man. Yeah, it's an emotional roller coaster, especially about when you learn the information after the fact. Yeah, it was a wonderful, and I think this was my favorite segment of them all. Yes, I love the rest. Don't get me wrong, I think they are pretty interesting, but I think this one, especially if we take away the death of Mako, if we take that away, if we take away the honor or the episode that was in honor of this great voice actor, and it's just read the episode by itself, it is still a great episode because it tells you the tale of a broken man that is trying his best to help the world to be a better place, and that is something I can respect a lot from the showmakers. This was, I understand why the hype. And it was something completely different of what I was thinking before, honestly. I was not expecting this type of episode. But I'm so glad that my mind went so far away from this, because this was a very, extremely well, a great surprise, honestly. So yes, I think I exhausted the topic of this one. I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. What a treat, man, what a treat. But anyway, yes, let me just remind you that if you enjoy the content of the channel, please consider a subscription and turn on notifications so you can get up to date with whatever we're doing with the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up and leave a comment. I know I take my sweet time to respond to those, but I read them and I appreciate all your comments, guys. If you want to follow me on B2, the link is in the description below. Well, the description to the reaction is in the description below, alongside with my Twitter account. Well, to my Twitter, so you can follow me there. So, yes, I think I have nothing else to say. I'm just struggling with words right now. So, yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoy it, and, well, see you on the next one. Bye.
Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, give it a like, so the algorithm from YouTube will help me out. And check my other videos, share them, and also why not subscribe to my channel and join this community. And as always, I want to thank you for your attention, your likes, and even your dislikes, your comments, which is something I always look forward to read. And yeah, once more, thanks, and see you on the next one.